Hey, what's up, everybody? Back in live action. We got a few of us missing a couple folks. We're gonna try and do some catching up and fill you guys in on some things today. Got Gabe with his sweet hairdo. Running smearing. So we got some stuff that we want to put up. Of course, we put a slideshow together for you guys. Try to keep it simple and sleek. So we'll go over as much as we can and try to keep you guys updated on some new and past and current events and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, we'll kind of roll into it. So a couple of quick topics that we're going to be covering today. Quick little recap for you guys of what we've been doing. Some updates on the Sata Logistics, the V2 ongoing forever and ever airdrop, the Fang platform, of course, our special Halloween NFT drop, some Sata Realty updates that you guys are looking to get into. I know I did a Twitter space the other day and told you guys we'd follow up a little bit more. So we're going to do that and finish it up with some Q&A stuff. So we'll kick into it. So recent events that we've done. You guys know we did the Crypto Expo Dubai. I say we, but I wasn't there, as you guys know. So again, got the most transparent award. SaitaRealtyDAO announcement. The Balloon Fiesta was happening at the same time in Albuquerque. Went really well. Got a lot of good exposure out of that. I did Houston meet and greet last week. It was kind of impromptu. I had to go up there to handle some meetings and talk about some NFT stuff. So I figured we'd do two birds, one stone, meet up with some folks in Houston. So for those that showed up, it was good to see you guys. Nice to meet everyone. And then I am going to be in Miami next week for a meet and greet. On my way across the pond to another continent, got to stop in Miami for about 2 days and do a little meet and greet there. Right? Somebody said we're doing a book signing. I've actually never written a book, so it's impossible for me to do a book signing, but I will be there to meet some of y'all. So if you're in the Florida state or surrounding states or anywhere, come say what's up. We'll be there a little bit. Sata Pro recaps. We got U.S. Canada added to ePay, which is cool. So all you guys, Canadians and U.S. citizens like myself, can now use ePay on the Sata Pro app, which is awesome. Some new tokens added to the ePay, the BNB link, and of course Sata Realty. So pretty excited about that. Adding things small, little by little, trying to help ePay grow, help utilize some of the functionality, and of course utilize the traffic and drive more traffic to the Sata Pro app. Sata Swap actually listed on CMC as well. So more brand recognition, more exposure, more everything. So little by little, man, we're getting there. We finally got our Twitter verified. It only took us like 17 tries, right? But we got it finally. So now we are working on doing our individual ones. We're going to run a test run, I think, with MK, see if he gets his done. And then get some feedback on that. And if he gets the go ahead, the thumbs up, and gets his done, then the rest of ours should be able to get ours done fairly quickly too. So finally, so I won't have 7,000 Saitama gurus on Twitter with links and telling everybody that they got to click here to get their airdrop tokens, which would be nice, right? We'll update on the Sata Logistics for you guys that are just tuning into what we're trying to do. It's not a new token. It's a use case for the Saitama coming exclusively to the Sata Pro. It's a huge industry. It'll be utilizing AI to determine best way to send anything from small packages, container cargo by air, sea, or land. Users will be able to enter information. The system will do the rest, connecting them to a variety of providers. And of course, the payment will be in Saitama tokens and ePayMe. So creating that utility, getting the token circulating, it does a lot of things, right? It handles a big niche and kind of bridging that gap between Web3 and a very stable and long-term industry. It's been around for a long time and will never go away. So introducing Web3 technology and specifically the Saitama token to something like that is going to be pretty extraordinary. Nobody's ever done that, like anything that we usually do. We're kind of trying to set the precedence. So looking forward to that. The airdrop process has been a nightmare. to say the least. Like we've, it's been months since we've been doing this. We are still doing airdrops. I would say over 90+% of folks out there have had their airdrops. So if there is some that slip through the cracks, we're still kind of following the same incentive there to have people, send their address. It's just difficult to do, but I've noticed a lot of the requests that we've gotten, these folks have already gotten their airdrop tokens. So please just enter the contract address manually. If it's on the blockchain, it's there, right? If it's not showing up in your wallet, import the contract address. It's operator error at that point. Like you got to look at the Etherscan. If you look at Etherscan, go in there, plug in your receipt code, your wallet address on etherscan.io. If you see your V2 tokens in there, they're there, right? There's literally nothing more we can do. We've already given them. So you just got to import the contract address. But there is some legitimate folks that may not have gotten them. So we are continuing to handle some of that. So some of the airdrops that they failed on the blockchain. So when we were doing massive bulk sends, if that one, transaction didn't go through, it wasn't for one wallet. It was for a bulk send of several hundred. So we have to go back and redo those ones. So sometimes it can be rather time consuming, but we're getting there. So that's where we're at with that. A lot of people I have noticed that it's not there. Sorry, you can go to the next one. It's frustrating sometimes because a lot of times people reach out and they're like, hey, I haven't gotten my tokens yet. And I look and it takes me 2 seconds and I look on Etherscan and it's like right there. So moving on, hopefully moving on from that eventually. Gabe, you want to give us a rundown on the FANG?
Yeah, FANG is live, finally. We've been working on it for some time. I know the community is really excited about it because it's a new utility for Saitama. So this is how we envisioned it since the beginning. Like the idea was to have Saitama as the native token, the main token for FANG, which means that now folks can buy and sell NFT using Saitama tokens. That's the only place where you can do that. So even like the other day, like I tweeted and some people wrote back to me and said, oh, you hit the nail. Like this is what we should be promoting. Like if you're looking into increasing your bags for the bull run and you can't buy more, you can't afford to buy more, you can just get creative, like start putting some things together, make some NFTs and publish it on FANG that you will be paid in Saitama tokens and then hold the tokens for until we hit the bull run again. So we had to write a new contract. Like I don't know if you're arriving now and you haven't been following the FANG story. We attempted a launch a few months back, and we had to rewrite the contract because we found a few flaws that were not like potentially harmful for buyers, but for the sellers, for the artists, because like some guys they found out that they could use now it's technical stuff, like they could use some the tickets from one purchase to purchase different tokens under the same contract, like sending transactions directly to the contract. So we found a way to block it because they found a way to they could buy more tokens for the price of one. But we quickly saw it, like it happened once, and then we closed it and we started studying it and we designed a new contract. So it's safer now. And we had to airdrop to everyone who bought tokens, who bought NFTs on FANG in this first run. They can check their wallets now and they will see that they received new tokens under the new contract. When I say tokens, I'm referring to the NFTs now. And if you don't see them, maybe it's because you're using MetaMask. There's a known issue with MetaMask that sometimes it shows and sometimes it doesn't show the NFTs. So you have to add them manually. You have to add to look up the Fang contract on Etherscan and add it manually to see your NFTs on MetaMask. We're writing a tutorial on how to do that while we are trying to solve the problem. So they show automatically. And of course, it's coming for Saita Pro. We're working on the integration because it's going to be a different type of integration. It has to work smoothly in the interface because you're going to be able to access it from inside Saita Pro. And now this is like something new also because we want Fang to be the safest NFT marketplace. So now we require all publishers to register. And we decided to do that to avoid scammers. This is a big problem in OpenSea and other marketplaces that are like free, that are 100% open, that you can just go. There's no process of checking the NFTs or nothing. So you can just go there and take like anything that you want from someone else and mint as an NFT, and you're stealing and selling and making money over other people's intellectual property. So we caught a few occurrences on Fang, which there's nothing we can do about it. We've been telling people to buy only from verified sellers. But now in this new launch of Fang, you have to be registered. So this is the first step for anyone wanting to sell NFTs on Fang. They have to go there and register as a publisher. We are reviewing every day, each one by one, and checking the sample work that they upload. And we're also asking them to upload videos of them creating the artwork. Like, you don't need to show your face. Like, some people are sending their KYC to Fang. This is not what we are asking for. We just want to see the work file to check that if you have the original work on your computer, so we can verify that the work is indeed made by you. So that's it. Like, we'll keep improving. There's a few non-issues, and that's why it will remain in beta. Like, some people are asking, it's still in beta, like it's the second launch. And yeah, it will be in beta until we see that the platform is smooth and the users are reporting a smooth experience. This is the most important for us. So we're not in a rush to release the final version, but it's a fully working version right now. You can go and register as a publisher, and after some time you can claim verified, like Twitter does, but we promise to be faster than Twitter in verifying profiles. So you can see that this is just like, if you haven't checked it yet, we recommend you to check it now. There's a lot of cool stuff there already, highlighting the work of Mr. Grapes, which is a known artist in the community, and he's been helping me creating the Fang experience as well. So he'll be working on Fang with us. And he has his work as an artist on the side as well, which you'll be seeing on Fang. So that this is kind of setting a benchmark for the art you can expect to see on Fang. And there's a lot of new art from him on Fang that you can check now. The first drop that he made sold out in a few days, the last time we opened the site. And we're coming up on Monday. You must have seen our social media all in the vibes of Halloween, even the post we made today. And we are preparing a special drop for Fang that's coming on Monday. It's going to be a special Halloween themed NFT for the Wolfpack, created with Mr. Grapes. And all holders of the NFTs will automatically participate in a we're calling it a trick or treat raffle, because some of the NFTs will come with a treat. So you buy the NFT, and we will do a raffle, and we'll pick 5 winners and split all the profit after the gas cost, of course, for minting and transferring the tokens. We'll split between these 5 wallets. So it's a cool idea. The idea is just bringing new people to Fang, like getting people to test Fang. We'll be making some tutorial videos as well, and I'm planning to go on YouTube channels and create stuff live and show people how it works, like do some walkthroughs as well. So a lot of exciting things happening with Fang. So Saita Realty updates. I think I'll do this one too, Russ. Saita Realty, as you've seen, and Russ has been live in some spaces talking about this too. And I'm really excited about this new update on Saita Realty. We first announced it in Dubai, and we are now becoming part of a DAO. We will start a DAO with Saita Realty under this DAO. It's going to be like an umbrella. For those who don't know what a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, which means that every participant in the DAO has more control, has voting power in the project. So it becomes even more decentralized. Like we're giving holders even more voice in the decisions, in the process of decision making and bringing improvements and ideas. So it's completely, the idea is to make it completely open and shared with the holders. We believe this is the future. This is a little bit, it's more difficult to make with Saitama because it's too big already, and it started as a renounced project, and then we took over for the community, while we still like listen to the community a lot, and we kind of base a lot of the decisions, most of them in feedbacks we get. It's difficult to turn it into a DAO, but Saita Realty is a new token. It's still like a small market cap and a small number of holders. So there's a lot of room to grow, and we want to grow in that direction. So this is not happening tomorrow. Like we are still like under the previous structure, the previous mindset of working. It will take some time to set this up. It will require planning, like a lot of planning that we are doing now, and legal advice, of course, and funding. That is important to get everything set up and build the applications that will be running under the DAO umbrella. So it will be built over two pillars. It feels complicated at start, but it's super simple. Once you read the white paper, you understand that you have these two pillars. You have the metaverse on one side, and the real estate, the app, which is like a real estate application for real estate, like physical real estate, on the other side. So the DAO will be like a game where you need, if you want, both Saitama and Saita Realty tokens to play. You can play with just one of them if you want. And it's like a members club. It will give you more voting power inside the DAO. So you will help creating the proposals, voting in which property the DAO should acquire, which property the DAO should sell. Should we distribute profit, or should we use the profit for improvements, whatever? This will all be governed by the DAO, and you have to interact with the metaverse for that, like to gain that voting power. And I've seen a lot of proposals for improvement already. We haven't had time to discuss them yet. But there's a lot of good ideas in changing the structure, and how like the current holders can have a larger share of profit. Like this will all be discussed once we advance in the planning phase. So this is like we say in the white paper, is just the start. We'll be listening to the community, why still not a DAO, but we'll get the opinions and keep transforming and evolving the white paper to go in this direction. And we are right now moving into the funding phase, which goes along with the planning phase, because we'll need money, of course, to set this up, to pay for lawyers, to start looking for property, to build the whole structure of the DAO, the app, the metaverse. So the first plan to kick this off is to start selling the Saita City NFTs. Saita City is the metaverse. And we've been working in developing the NFTs, and the first drop is coming. It's planned to come out real soon. So the idea is that you will use these NFTs to play in the metaverse, to place them and help build this virtual world that will be giving you voting power inside the DAO. And just to finish, like if you've been following Saita Realty, you already know that, but we listed in two new exchanges. XT went live today, and Deepcoin. So this is also, it's super cool. I'm going to talk more about the staking that people been asking about. It's in the Q&A in the end, and it has to do with the choices on listings and other choices that we had to do, but it's in the works as well. So here's a sneak peek of the work on the NFT. This is not the NFTs. This is something that it's internal work that I decided to show. This is like a study, a brief for the artists. We call it an art board or a mood board, and it's a creative direction for the style of three of the villages or the areas or the neighborhoods in Seda City, because the way we are envisioning it is every neighborhood is different. Like it has a different look and feel, different types of houses, of buildings, of parks, of props that you can integrate there. And you can choose where you're going to buy your houses, and you will see how each one, you bet which one we will develop faster than others. There will be scarcity coming into play. So we'll be opening, as the city grows, we'll be opening new villages, and also making the villages bigger, of course, by introducing new NFTs. So these are the first three that we have in the works. And I have a preview of one of the NFTs already for Neon Downtown, one of the villages. I can publish this. I don't know if I should post this, because some people will assume that this is the final work, and this is just reference for the artists. Is what we are taking this and developing like 100 houses based on one of these artboards. And here's one of
Just
them.
put a disclaimer out. This isn't a final product. These are work.
Yeah, I think we can do that. So you can read like what's the concept for each village. So this is one of the houses in Neon Downtown. You can see it's inspired by cyberpunk, by a future shaped by technology. And there's a lot of playfulness there. Like if you look at the screens, they're showing like there's some enigmatic phrases there. And the idea is that you want, this is not like, you want this to be super simple, like a metaverse that you anyone can play, like all ages. You won't be something that you need to spend several hours in there, like interacting with people until you get bored and you ditch the thing. So it's not going to be something immersive like what is it called? Decentraland and the others, because there's 100 of projects like that already in development. And we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to do something that is simple to use, that anyone can go there and have some fun, a few minutes, few hours a day, check how their city is developing, and keep improving. Like if they buy new tokens and they want to expand, they want more voting power, they will go there and stake their tokens and put their NFTs there and help growing that city. Because as the metaverse grows, the real estate side of the business will grow as well for the DAO. So this is the vision. We don't know if it's perfect yet. We are in planning phase, and we are listening to your feedback. So it will be good to hear your opinions on this. And I think we can jump on to Q&A now.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, like, and it's hard to go over like in just one 30 45 minute AMA. So as I kind of told you guys before, there's a ton of moving parts behind the Saita Realty initiative and the umbrella behind that. So please go check out the white paper on it, and if you guys have questions, of course you can shoot them up to us. But it is constantly evolving, and that's the beauty of it, right? Anything with blockchain development, you have the ability to kind of manipulate it, move it around to where it makes sense, right? Like nothing's completely concrete except for the actual contract itself, right? Aside from that, you can kind of maneuver things around that make it work.
Yeah.
And being that it's a DAO, people, it's almost like a community-driven token, right? Everybody has a say so. But the key points to take away is it does still involve physical assets, right? The procurement of physical, real. And a big part of it, too, people were asking about the capital wallet, like what are we doing with that? Like it's still the procurement of assets will still be utilized from that capital wallet. So it's going to collect that swap and liquefied Ethereum for us to utilize real assets. So lots of moving parts to it, and again, it'll be constantly evolving.
Right. So yeah, this time we're doing it a little bit different. We will still look at the questions in the chat, but we brought a few questions from the community, from that we have seen popping in social media, and that our mods were so kind to compile and bring to us. They do this all the time. Like you can reach out to the mods with questions, and they bring the questions to us, and we answer to them. And we figured this time we could just pick some of these questions that we know are persistent, and get them, start the Q&A with them.
Yeah. Well, I wish Aaron was here to update us on the Eagle FC.
Yeah.
And as well. So the Eagle FC, we had contract with them for X amount of fights. We didn't really get those many fights, so we terminated. Here nor there.
Yeah. We still. I spoke to Aaron before. Like this is a line for like we'll continue the partnership next year. We had to prioritize investments, as you know. The market it's in the condition that everyone knows right now, and volume is low for all cryptos, and this affects us, of course, affects our power of investment. So we have to make choices. So we plan to continue with Eagle FC sometime. We have something in the plans for next year. And as for Islam and Hasbullah, they are still holders. They are Saitama holders. They will keep promoting the community and the token and Saita Pro, regardless of the deal with Eagle FC. So you'll still be seeing them using Saitama shirt and talking about Saitama because they're holders. They're Wolfpack.
Well, and when it comes to like marketing and contracts and things like that, as you guys know, like Islam, the UFC is owned and driven by Crypto.com, right? Like they hold that flag. We can't do anything with it. So if it's an official moment, I got in the octagon or whatever, like it's got to be Crypto.com logos. We get kind of like the off the beaten path marketing tactics, right? Like it's like training and different parts where we can utilize it. So, but we're always looking for other options. But as Gabe mentioned, as we kind of are limited on resources, we got to be really tight with what we do. We got to try to maximize based on how much we can afford to throw out there. But once it picks back up and we get more volume and we have more revenue generation, then we can just kind of be like, market everything, throw it up, make it happen.
Yeah, we have to go back to kind of more back to basics marketing, if you say so, and focus on development 100%. I spoke about it in Dubai, that we are enduring, we are resisting, we are resilient, and we'll get to the end of the bear market prepared, like for the next bull run. This is what holders need to know, right?
You have to understand too, like the marketing aspect of it is great, but think about 1% of the entire world knows what crypto is, right? So who are you marketing to? Like download Saita Pro and get this. People are like, I don't even know what crypto is. What am I supposed to be doing? I'm downloading an app? Is it like words with friends, or is it like a TD Ameritrade? Right. So how do you market something that 99% of the world doesn't even know what it is? So do you focus on developing and making it easier for people to understand and recognize what crypto is, what blockchain development is? With the Saitama Academy, we're doing all these different initiatives to implement mass adoption is going to get you much further than a billboard or a commercial. Like, It just makes more sense. I know it's kind of difficult to kind of grasp the concept on it, but we have to understand because we're all people like yourselves and us, like we're all extremely savvy in the crypto space, but most people don't invest because they really don't know, have any idea what it is. It's not that it hasn't been promoted to them; they just don't know what it is. So, I think
Next
it's kind
one.
of.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, let's go.
Why haven't you burned the remaining 2 billion Saitama tokens, Gabe?
Me,
Why?
it's my fault.
I know. We'll blame Nam because Nam took 2 billion Saitama tokens and he put them in the pockets of his jean jacket. And then we're gonna burn the jean jacket. No, so we have we're waiting to finish all the airdrops. Make sure that all those are completely done before we do anything with those tokens. And I know that I've said it a few times before, and I'll say it again for the folks in the back. When you burn tokens, you don't really do anything, right? You remove them from the circulating supply. The price will not move. We can burn 10 billion tokens right now on this AMA, and the price would remain exactly the same. Exactly the same. Nothing would happen. All you're doing is essentially taking them out so nobody can buy them. Nobody can buy them. Nobody can sell them. Is it increasing the value? No. The burn mechanism in a decentralized token and deflationary is that you remove it little by little over time, so it still has its effectiveness, and it minimizes the circulating supply over time. So when you do massive burns, it's great, but I think people are a little bit they're confused about what it really does with the actual burn mechanism. It doesn't do anything for the price. So what we're going to do is we're looking at it when we do all the airdrops. Is it more advantageous for us to utilize some of these tokens for reward, for staking rewards, for play to earn rewards, for all the different things that we need for the utility under our umbrella instead of burning them? Not to say that we won't burn some, but I want to make it very crystal clear that whatever the tokens are used for are going to be for the Saitama ecosystem. And I think people sometimes are under the assumption that any extra tokens out there floating around is to fund Gabe's, barber, right? Like it's not clearly. But no, so like we have to look at it. So when we do staking, where do you think those tokens come from? They got to come from somewhere. We don't have a reserve pool. Right? Like the way that the Saitama V2 token is set up, every token has to be accounted for. So we don't mine them. We don't have a reserve pool because we didn't launch the initial contract. So we can't just magically create more V2 tokens. So whatever's left after we complete the airdrops, we have to kind of strategize and look forward so we're not putting ourselves in a position down the line where we don't have any more tokens to hand out, right? Whether that be for a play to earn game or for something like that. Now, if we do that, say we take 2 billion tokens and we just burn them, now we can't do anything with them. They're completely useless. It didn't do anything for the price. It didn't do anything for the ecosystem. It didn't really do anything for the holder either. So we have to look at all these different things and, like I said, strategize it, but understand that when the airdrop is complete, that those tokens will be best utilized in every way possible.
Yeah, when the market condition changes, and we're in a bullish market, also the tax will be different. Like the development wallet will be different. So we need to make sure that we'll be able to pay the reward. So this is just you can call it a reserve. It's a guarantee that we are keeping to be extra safe. So this is how I see it. We discussed this over and over internally, and in my view, it's like a reserve for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to have a reserve. You really do, and nobody else. If you look at all the new smart contracts that are being deployed now, even with SaitaRealty, like we have a reserve in SaitaRealty. We do that because we have to have tokens to utilize for liquidity on centralized exchanges, for staking rewards, for anything else that may come up, right? So because we don't have that ability within the V2 contract for Saitama, we have to utilize whatever we have. So Anyhow, so it'll make sense, and we'll be completely transparent throughout the whole thing. And you guys can, obviously, you guys are masters at Etherscan, so you can track all the tokens and see where they went and all that stuff. I'm sure. But yeah, it'll go for the right direction. Sata Realty is still going to have physical real estate. Yeah, I mean, so I touched on it a little bit. Yeah,
Of course.
that's not changing. That is literally the price of the entire token. So we're just adding parts to it, making it more incentive for the holder, making it more transparent.
And more sustainable. Like we want the ecosystem to work regardless of the market condition. If we are in a bullish market or a bearish market, it should work. It should be sustainable. And if we were just betting on funding the token from the wallet, for example, it wouldn't work. If the price goes down because of the market, which will happen, it's likely to happen until you stabilize, you grow the token in market cap, and you get more stable, more listed in more exchanges, and you get a more stable token, which a more stable volume. It's hard, to keep up, like to keep buying properties just depending on that. So we had to come up with a different system that works in both conditions. So I spoke to MK about this one. He's been updating us daily. It's coming. It's coming real soon. Like they found out the reason why it was being denied by the iOS store, and they're working on it. One of the reasons is actually connected to NFTs. The way we had our DApp browser and the integration, the planned integration with Fang, was blocking. And they don't give you the real reason. They just reject, and you have to guess. Like they give other reasons sometimes, and you have to keep to check. So the first the developers tried to work around, and it didn't work. So they removed the app browser, and it didn't work. So they eventually closed everything, and they started rebuilding the structure. And in the meantime, Apple revealed plans to start accepting NFT sales on the iOS store. That's not live yet, but it's coming. So it will help us either way. And it's not far from releasing. Like this is the only thing I can say now. We can't promise dates because we depend a lot on Apple for that. Like we are finding a way. We restructure the app, and we'll put it there and see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. The Apple is always, and I'm a huge Apple fan, but when it comes to application updates, they're the worst, man. I'm telling you. Like Android is like boom, like next day. Apple is like, it's been that way since we started. It was crazy. I don't understand it. And they're terrible.
Yeah.
So, Wolfcaster.
Oh.
What's up?
Yeah, what happened? What happened to Wolfcaster?
What happened? You're on the hot seat.
Yeah, some people say that there's no game, which is it's not true. I don't know where they get this idea, because like whoever came to Dubai, like to the first in March, they even played. Like we had a TV with a controller, and you could play one of the stages of the retro game. And I was like, this is my baby project inside Saitama, because I'm a huge gaming fan. And we were developing 3 games. One was a 3D game, one was a 2D game, and a card game as well. And we had to stop to prioritize the app and the other parts of the ecosystem, like building from the center and then adding other utilities. So we had to prioritize Sata Pro, Fang, ePay, Sata Card, which is coming. Like all this costs money. It's not endless like it seemed to be back then when we started. Like we had means to do it. We invested our personal money on that. And there was a point we had to stop, because we ran out of personal funds that we could invest in the company. And the little funds we have, because the market is it shrunk. We have to make choices, and the game wasn't like priority number one. So it's there. I plan to resume development when the market changes, when we start having more funds from the ecosystem and from the tax, which is nothing, like it's little right now. Um, and I plan to go back. Some people, they come to me and say, why don't you start a crowdfunding? And it's a possibility. If I start like getting a lot of requests, that might be something I'll be looking into, like start a crowdfunding and they make people kind of partners in the game or something. There's different models we can explore. But really, like if you look at games right now, like with this market down, it's something that it shouldn't be number one priority for an ecosystem like ours. So while I recognize this is an incredible use case for Saitama, and we have a big community of gamers there, I think like we made the right choice. It hurts. It hurts me in the heart to say that, because I love the franchise. I created the whole story with my team from the scratch, like this whole universe. We have a pitch for a TV show. We have the opening song is ready. We recorded it in Japan with a producer there. Like if you follow Wolfcaster World, you can see the updates. And I can even I can go on a YouTube channel one day and I can show the work files and all the studies we were doing. Like it's a long process, like developing a game. If someone comes and say, oh, we're making a game and it will be ready in 2 months, it's simply not the truth, unless like you buy something that is ready and you just like change the skin and give it another name and launch it. This is not what we're looking for. Like we're designing the whole thing from the scratch. So hopefully I can go back to Wolfcaster next year. Who knows? But one of the games is 50, I would say 50 something percent developed. The other is 30% and the other is 10%. We had just started it and we had to sit and discuss budget and decide to pause it. So I can say it's on hold for the time being.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult, right? Because there's only 5 of us, right? And we're limited resources, and we got a tech team that works on Sata Pro, but we, millions of things going on all the time, and sometimes we just got to prioritize a little bit. So, which kind of takes us into Sata Chains, Sata City. Will take a long time to get ready. We have some sort of
SaitaRealty staking. Yeah,
because that's a big thing, right? Everybody wants to stake their SaitaRealty tokens, obviously.
Yeah. So. It's a budget choice. Like we want to. This is a priority for us as well. We need to have it. We know the community wants that. It's in the roadmap, and we will deliver it. We can't promise a date right now because it requires funding. It requires funding to program, to for pool, for everything. Like it will cost a certain amount of money that right now is compromised. Like we're making decisions, like should we list on more exchanges to increase the number of holders and increase the volume before we make staking available. And we've been making this decision, but staking is in development. It's in the plans for Sata Pro before we launch Sata City, of course. And I didn't touch on Sata Chain, but Sata Chain it's in the roadmap for those of you who follow us from the beginning, and it's kind of the end game for us. Like we can't elaborate a lot on that still, but in the future, Sata Realty, the DAO, and Sata City, it will be in the Sata Chain blockchain. So when people ask, oh, what's the utility for Saitama? So now, we invested because of Sata City, and now it doesn't have to do with Saitama, which is not true, because you will buy the NFTs using Saitama tokens. So the tokens will be needed to buy the little houses you will use. So utility number one. Utility number two, on Sata Chain, Saitama will be the native token, which means you will be paying for gas fees for transactions in Saitama tokens. And we have a lot more planned for Sata chain. So it's a construct, it's in the horizon, like it's something that will happen, and will sure like make a lot of people happy, people who believe in the project, who has been here for us like through bull and bear markets and still like supporting us. This is what keeps us going, and we won't let anyone down, like you can rest assured.
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of people, they're always ask like when exchange, when exchange. So, I mean, and I know that we talk about it all the time, myself specifically. I feel like almost every time I'm on an AMA or Twitter space or anything like that, listing on a tier one exchange right now is literally pointless. I can't put it any more blunt. It's not going to do any good, right? Like you're going to get a 40% pump followed by a 40% dump within 48 hours. And a tier one exchange listing costs anywhere between 600,000 to 1.5 million. I'm pretty sure we could do a hell of a lot more with $1.5 million than list on a tier one exchange with very little volume. So if you look at the overall crypto market, the fear index, the amount of money going in and out of crypto right now, the world economy, the trade, like you got to look at everything from like a 20,000-foot view. And I know it can be difficult having a single perspective on things, and it's even more difficult to be the one sitting in the hot seat to make those tough decisions. I don't wish it on anybody. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for you guys, the investors, the longevity of the project, the funds available, the overall crypto market, the available funds. These things all. Hey, you got to mute your mic, Gabe. Everybody's going to yell at you. There we go. Got it. So it's imperative that we do things very strategic. And I know I feel like I beat that word to the ground sometimes, but yeah, it'll come. I mean, I look at statistics and I analyze the data, and I look at everything when it comes time to making decisions. We all do. We've been in this position. We've been in this industry for long enough to know what works and what doesn't. And sometimes there is no proof in the pudding, but you just got to understand what strategy really means and let other people kind of set the precedence and go off of certain things that have been done in the past and don't work. If we had a plethora of money and a giant bag we could lift our hands into and just start pulling stuff out and pulling money out, listing on all these changes and getting all this stuff, like we would 100%. But even then, would it be advantageous? Probably not. It's got to be very strategic, right? So our focus right now is building, and that way, when we do hit this bull market, we're gonna just run it all the way to the top, right? Like we've been utilizing this time in this down season, this crypto winter, to just build and then add utilities, and that's what we're gonna keep doing. We don't control the market. We don't control the amount of money that goes in and out of the market. We don't control the world's economy. We're just 5 dudes trying to create something. So, but rest assured that we'll be ready when it does turn. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be 6 months from now. Whenever that day comes, we'll be ready for it. So we're putting ourselves in position to make everybody happy when it comes. Right? We don't want to be playing catch up where the bull run starts and we're like trying to catch up. And we're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and we're going to try and do it real fast, right? And just rush it. We're going to be ready for it when it comes, and we'll be there. So, figure I'd put that out there because it's always a very hot topic. So, we're good. What else we got? Was that the end of them? And MK's not here because he is.
Yeah.
He's
traveling. He's in a different time zone, so he couldn't make it.
We're all going to be traveling next week, so we won't be on next week, and probably the week after, I would assume.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have more information on that when it comes, but
yeah,
don't want to give it all away yet.
Right, and no, just wanted to touch on the website before we wrap up. It's been behaving badly today. We are looking into, like, it went down, and then we looked up in the server, and we did all the checks. Everything is right in the server, in the domain server, and then it went back up. and then we went down, and everything seems to be fine. So we're investigating. We reached out to the server support, and we're working on them to figure out what happened. But it's not a hacker attack. It's not a zombie attack. And it's not overload. Everything it's fine. Like if Fang and Sata Pro, they run on the same server, and they're fine. They're working. So that's the proof that it's not the server. So we're still investigating. We'll be on it like rest of the day, the night, to make the site stable again. So apologize for the site being on and off today. We hope to have this sort out quickly.
Awesome. Well, also, I appreciate you guys all coming out. I did want to give a quick shout out to all the moderators and admins that we got out there and all the folks that go above and beyond. We're all volunteers, basically running a nonprofit at this point. So big shout out, pat on the back, kudos to the mods and admins out there and the folks in the community holding spaces and being positive influences for the community and new investors. Being very patient, answering questions, and being basically developers with boots on the ground. You guys are our eyes and ears out there, so we appreciate y'all all the time. Even though we probably don't say it enough, we appreciate you. So thanks, guys, for coming out. And it'll be a couple weeks, but we'll give you guys some updates when we land. Maybe we'll do a quick peace. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.